Hi everyone, it's Rebecca Coomes from The Healthy Gut. Today's recipe is my spicy chili con carne from the SIBO Family Favourites cookbook. Let's get started. All you need to do is melt a tablespoon of tallow, so I'll just pop that in there. If you'd like to learn how to make your own tallow, check out my video for that, and I've also got my recipe in the SIBO Family Favourites cookbook. So we'll just melt that down, and we're going to add in 1 leek, which I've chopped up, and I've also got 1 red chilli and 1 red capsicum, which has been diced. So I'll pop all of that in there and give that a cook until it starts to soften. So the vegetables are now quite softened, which is great. I'm going to put into that 500 grams of minced beef, and what I like to do is just brown the meat off. So we'll let that cook for a few more minutes. Okay, so the beef mince is browned off nicely, and to that I'm going to add all of my dried spices. I've got here just a variety of gorgeous smelling spices, which includes a tablespoon of cumin, coriander and smoked paprika. And depending on how hot and spicy you like your chili, you can use either, just a 1/4 teaspoon of chili powder all the way up to a teaspoon or even more if you like it super hot. And then I've also got a teaspoon each of salt and pepper. So I'll pop that in and I'll cook that off just to release those lovely aromatic flavours. And then into this I'm going to pour a cup of beef stock. Now we'll bring the temperature back to the boil and let that simmer until the stock has evaporated most of the liquid. And the reason why I like to add a cup of stock is 2 reasons. The first is that the stock gives the chili just a really lovely depth of flavour. But secondly, homemade bone broth and stock also contains some wonderful gut healing properties, so I like to use that as well. Okay, we'll let this simmer away. The beef stock has now reduced nicely, so there's not much liquid left in here. And it's now time to add in 1 tin of tomatoes. I like to use whole tomatoes. I just think that they're a better quality tomato than, they have to show the whole tomato rather than just pieces of it. But if you prefer to use already diced tomatoes, that's fine. I like to just break the tomatoes down with the back of my wooden spoon, just so that they kind of blend into the chili. And to that I'm going to add, I've got 4 tablespoons of tomato paste, so we're going to pop that in. And then I just let this simmer now for at least half an hour. And that just allows the flavours to really develop and blend into this lovely chili. Once we've been cooking that for a little while, we'll add some lentils at the end. Okay, we'll let this cook for a bit. So this has been simmering away for about half an hour now, and right at the end I like to add some lentils, and that just helps bulk out the chili. Now obviously if you can't tolerate lentils, by all means please feel free to leave them out of this dish. So we'll let them continue to cook. I like to cook that for maybe another 5 or 10 minutes. So while that's cooking, we'll make some guacamole to go with the chili. I have such a simple guacamole recipe. It is literally just taking an avocado and scooping that out into a bowl. So I'll just scoop a nice ripe organic avocado from my friends at Organic Angels. Pop this into the bowl. And to that I'm going to add a little bit of lime juice and some salt, and then we just give it a good mash, and that is our guacamole, and it's perfect with a nice chili. And I find that the creaminess and the coolness of the avocado goes perfectly with the spice of this chili. So we'll just squeeze some lime juice in there. I've got a little bit of salt, and we'll just mash this up until it's nice and creamy. I'll mash this and we'll finish cooking the chili, and then I'll show you how I like to serve it. All right, the lentils have cooked in and they're looking great, and my chili is ready to serve. So I'll show you how I love to eat this. I literally just put some in a nice big bowl like this. It's such a lovely hearty meal and it's so filling. So I've got my chili, and then I put a nice little dollop of the guacamole on top. And I love coriander, so I've got some fresh sprigs of coriander here and some extra lime, because I think that just makes it all the worthwhile. And there you go, there is a really simple chili con carne recipe. It's perfect for midweek. You can freeze it so you can have meals ahead of time, and it's so incredibly filling. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you're after the recipe, you can find it in my SIBO Family Favorites cookbook. Until next time, happy cooking.